Hello, and welcome to my podcast show, Nancy Be Inspired. I am your host, Nancy DeLeonardi, and I am so happy that you are here with me and listening in on my podcast. I want to give you a little background about myself really quickly and let you know that I'm here to help you live your best life. My niche is inspiration, and my intention is to share with you things that I've done in my life through health, wellness, fitness, meditation, Zumba, positivity, quotes, whatever that I've done in my life that has helped me transform my life, from a really dark place to the life that I live today. I'm sharing with you out here on this podcast channel. And so today I want to talk about embracing holistic health and a path to mind, body, and soul well-being. We live in a world today where the healthcare industry actually is really quick to numb us with medication. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what they do and what options you actually have that they may not talk to you about. I think that this is really important because I think people need options out there and information to ponder before they actually think that their physician is the golden rule and it's the only option that they have. So if you want to listen in for more, this is just my opinion. I am not a medical doctor, but I have, I think, a little bit of wisdom to share with you, and I hope that you're interested. So let's go. Welcome to Embracing Holistic Health, a path to mind, body, and soul well-being. So today I want to talk about this topic. I want to talk about the healthcare industry and, some topics that we're going to dive into that will resonate deeply with many of us, where we're finding natural, holistic ways to improve our well-being without relying on prescription drugs. That is really my intention here. I am not a medical doctor, and I am not advising anyone to come off of any medication that you've been prescribed by your practitioner whatsoever. I'm just giving information out here for you to contemplate and really explore, depending on what ailments that you might have, just to be your own. I'm going to empower you to make decisions for yourself. And the reason why I'm saying that is I want to share my personal story with you, which was, a couple years ago, I was looking for, some assistance with, getting older in life and changes in my body and, being symptomatic, and then your blood work comes back and, doctors are telling you you're totally fine, but yet your body, right? And you're like, something is off here. I just don't feel right. And I actually had one doctor say to me, there's nothing wrong with you, and I have sick people to take care of, when actually there was something going on with me. It's just my lab work didn't catch up with what was actually going on with me and my body. And, I really took a turn with doctors at that point in my life because I was really the advocate for myself. And just because they had the medical degree didn't mean that they knew more about my body than I knew myself. I knew how I felt, and I was trying to get some help with that. And so that's what I want to talk to you about, right? So in this episode, we're going to discuss the modern health industry's reliance on prescription drugs, the principles of holistic health, and offer, practical and natural alternatives for managing anxiety and improving sleep. So that's really what I want to talk about, because for me, I was getting up in the middle of the night, and I usually slept very soundly, and I was gaining weight, although I was exercising and I was a fitness instructor and not really eating a whole lot. And, they're like, well, you just have to continue to burn more calories than you're taking in. I had doctors write me off because of my age. Well, what do you expect? This is your age. Your body's not going to operate like it did when it was younger. So I had a lot of doctors have stereotypical opinions of me with my age and what I was complaining about, as opposed to actually hearing me and trying to help me. And that really opened the door for me to just try to do some more of my research. And I was relentless. I went to a lot of different physicians. And ultimately, I found a combination that worked for me. When you get older and your hormones change and you don't have hormones anymore and your body's not producing it anymore, you are symptomatic. You can feel the changes with that. You can, for females going through menopause, you can feel the hot flashes. You can, like I was saying, it was starting in the middle of the night where I couldn't sleep, and they just want to prescribe medication for you to sleep. And I'm like, no, I don't want a drug. I want you to help me figure out, what's going on, with my body. So, the current state to me of the health industry is just, doctors are quick to prescribe medications and, get you out the door. I think according to recent statistics, prescription drugs use has soared, and there are millions of people relying on medications daily. And this is not due to, like a need for the medication as opposed to like life or death. It's like, well, I can't sleep. Well, let me give you sleep medication. Or, I'm a little stressed out. Let me give you some anxiety medication to take the edge off. And I'm not saying people don't need that and it doesn't work for some people, but I'm just saying before you are quick to take a prescription drug, see if there are other holistic alternatives that you can use and do, before you start taking that drug. Because to me, all drugs have a side effect. And, if it's going to fix one thing, is it going to cause another thing? And so, they come with a host of side effects that can lead to long-term dependency. For instance, some common anxiety medications can cause drowsiness, dizziness, and even some more health issues over time. I had so what I was told is I had a thyroid issue for decades. I was told you have a thyroid condition and you need to take medication. And I was really in tune and am really in tune to my body. So I can sense any little thing that changes with it. And so, back on and off throughout my life, I would try the thyroid medication that they gave me, and I had side effects to it. So I stopped taking it. I took myself off of it. And, they're like, you're not supposed to do that. But I felt better when I took myself off the medication. When I was on the medication, I really didn't see a difference. And they're like, well, you have to stay on it for life. And I just really wasn't about doing that. I was just really more, concerned about what was wrong with me and how I could get better. And actually, you fast forward a couple years, and they were like, if you take thyroid medication for a long period of time, it can cause some serious damage to your body. And I am so glad that I didn't go that route. And I'm not trying to discourage people who are on medication, not to take it, because if your doctor prescribed it and it's working for you, like I said, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just saying for me and how sensitive I am to my body, I noticed little things about it. And, fast forward decades where I went to an endocrinologist yet a third time in my life. This endocrinologist that I went to in recent years actually ran a blood test looking for some type of blood. I don't know what it was that she was looking for in my blood. And she said, if I had that in my blood, then I did have a thyroid issue. And when the lab results came back, she said, you don't have a thyroid condition. You don't have this, whatever it was, in my blood. And she said, so therefore, you do not have a thyroid condition. So who do you listen to and who do you believe? Had I believed all the other doctors in my previous, visits in my youth, all the way up to, middle age, what if I had been on medication all of that time? And then this doctor says, well, this is the only fact that will determine whether you have a thyroid condition or not, is this one thing in your blood. And I didn't have it. So she's like, no, you don't have a thyroid issue. So who do you believe? I don't know who to believe. All I know is that for myself, I just had to take care of myself, eat healthy, exercise. And even that isn't a perfect science, right? Because I was one, who taught Zumba 6 classes a week before the pandemic. and sometimes 9 classes a week. I would pick up other classes. So yeah, I shed a lot of pounds by burning all of those calories, but yet COVID hits and, I'm not teaching that much anymore. And I never went back to 6 classes a week. So then you start picking up weight despite never stop. I never stopped working out. I worked out at home. I walked every day, 3 miles at a minimum. Sometimes I walked 10 miles a day. I never stopped being active, but my body continued to pick up weight again. And again, I was like, well, why is that happening? Am I the type of person who has to be in the gym killing it with cardio, just boom, 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 cardio to death? What is it about my body? So I'm sure a lot of females can relate to this, where you're just frustrated and your body's changing. And, for me, it's not a quick fix. And I was never about just don't give me that medication. So for me, there are, options out there. And, if you have trouble sleeping, that was the number one indicator for me in perimenopause was your sleep pattern gets disrupted. And, you could go to the doctor. I went, and they were like, oh, well, we could give you something to help you sleep. I never took any of those prescriptions, but I'm saying to you, if that's you and they're saying, well, we, might offer you some short-term relief, it could disrupt your natural sleep pattern for your lifetime, and it could lead to dependency on that medication to sleep. And that is why, honestly, I created the Bedtime Stories podcast series to help people find another way to fall asleep, because sleep deprivation is an epidemic in the world. People do have trouble sleeping. And, I just thought, well, let me help people with bedtime stories and fantasy stories that can take their mind away from, maybe some people really have trouble meditating and breathing and calming their mind. But if you tell someone a story, then their mind kind of drifts into the story and they're captivated by the story. And then that's the sense of calm for them, and it works. And, you don't need a drug to do that. You just listen to it and you teach your body, how to fall asleep on its own. And I will tell you, when I had my children and first time mom, my pediatrician gave me the best advice, and it was unsolicited. I didn't ask him, what can you tell me? What tips can you tell me as a new mom? When, you have a baby and you take your baby to the doctor, in the beginning, the pediatrician said to me, the best thing that you can do for your child is to teach them how to fall asleep on their own. And I listened to him, and with my children, that is exactly what I did. I taught them to go to sleep on their own, and they always loved bedtime. They loved their beds, and they never gave me a hard time falling asleep. And it was the best advice anyone could have ever given me. And I think that people have trouble falling asleep because they never really learned how to fall asleep. And then you get older, of course, and you have life that stresses you out and keeps you up at night. And I have found for myself as well, I will tell you, that physical exercise actually helped me sleep really well. When I was teaching 6 classes a week and I was working full time, I would get up, leave my house, work a full-time job, leave that job, go teach a Zumba class, leave that Zumba class, go teach a second Zumba class, leave that class, come home, take a shower, maybe eat dinner, maybe not, and I was out like a light before my head hit the pillow. I slept soundly too. I did not wake up in the evening, and I know that that's like really not normal what I was doing back then, but I did it, and I never had any trouble sleeping. So imagine that this is your routine, and then all of a sudden you're waking up at 2 a.m, and you're like, you can't go back to sleep, and why am I wide awake? And that's what started to happen with me, which is why I was trying to figure out what is going on. And then the alternative was, well, you're getting old. What do you expect? Your body's changing, and, here's some prescriptions that'll help you sleep. Well, is a prescription really going to help you sleep and get into REM like your body really needs? Or is it sedation, right? Sedation is a different kind of asleep. You're not really sound asleep. Your body isn't in that rhythm of replenishing itself and renourishing itself if you're in a medicated sleep. It's a forced sedation, but it's not really your body, the clock of your body winding down and then, replenishing itself through rest and relaxation so that you can then wake up rejuvenated as your body was intended to do daily, cyclically. So, that's my opinion with that. And I think that there are, holistic approaches, right? So you can dive into the holistic health approach, which is about treating you as a whole person, your mind, your body, and soul, rather than just addressing the symptom. So this approach has been around for centuries. And in practices like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, it's been around for thousands of years. And holistic health emphasizes the balance and harmony. It's not a quick fix approach like modern medicine is. Modern medicine is, let me give you the pill, let me fix it quickly, right? It aims to address the root cause of health issues, right? So, for example, rather than just prescribing a pill for anxiety, a holistic approach might be to include mindfulness practices, right? Dietary changes, physical activities, like I mentioned earlier, that promote overall well-being, right? So you think of, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness are those meditations, right? So you can meditate, you can listen to calming music, you can take a walk in nature. Your dietary changes could be, hydrate more, eat, healthier foods, not refined foods, not, high sugary foods, or eating late at night so that it's keeping you up because your body's trying to digest the food while it's trying to slow down for rest, and physical activity, like I said, even if you take a walk later in the day, you've expended energy in your body, and your body, then you'll sleep better. Also mindfulness could be taking a nice warm bath, soaking in a tub, always take a shower before bed. That really does help, calm you down and get ready for bed. There's aromatherapy too, where you could get lavender and you could rub it in your hands like lavender oil. So you've taken your nice shower, you feel all, fresh, and you get into bed and you take lavender oil, you rub it in your hands, and you wave your hands around your nose and your face so you can smell the aroma, and that aroma is very calming. Lavender is very calming. It might be on your pillows, or when you lay your head on your pillow, you can smell the lavender, which actually will help you relax. And then your mind associates this ritual, if you will. If every night you have this ritual where you take your shower at a certain time, the best you can, right? The best you can, but you want to get your body into a routine that I take the shower, and that, I turn off all devices, and I just get into my bed. I put the aromatherapy on with the lavender, and you smell it, and then you're relaxed. Your bed is comfortable, your pillow is comfortable, your blankets are perfect, the room is the right temperature, it's dark, you can sleep soundly. You're preparing yourself for this rest time. And so you have to set your room up in a way that is conducive to you relaxing and falling asleep. So what are some alternatives for managing anxiety and improving sleep, right? So here are a few, like I said, that have been tried and tested. Mindfulness and meditation. The practicing mindful meditation can significantly reduce anxiety. Simple techniques like deep breathing exercises or guided meditations can help calm the mind and reduce stress. I have some meditation podcasts out there that you could listen to if you do not want a device when you're trying to go to sleep. Again, like I said, I have the bedtime stories, but you can breathe. Just breathe in and breathe out. There are apps out there for free, sound meditations. There's sound music that you could just listen to that will really calm your mind. There are herbal remedies too. So nature offers many calming herbs like chamomile and valerian root and lavender, like I was just talking about. And so something that you could do that might help you is to drink some chamomile tea before you go to bed, or like I mentioned, using the lavender oil that can promote your relaxation and better sleep. As I mentioned, exercise and physical activity throughout the day. Regular exercise really is key. You want to really exercise as much as you can on a regular basis And that could be, like I mentioned, the walk. I have a 7-day meditation walk podcast out there. You could do yoga, Tai Chi, anything like that can actually help reduce anxiety, and it improves your sleep quality. So these practices not only benefit the body, but they also calm the mind. So, also nutrition, right? What we eat affects how we feel. So, foods that are rich in magnesium or fatty acids, like the omega 3 fatty acids, and antioxidants can promote mental well being. So, how do you get that? You get that with leafy greens, right? Some nuts, some seeds, fatty fish like salmon. You just want to incorporate some of those foods into your diet to see, if that helps you. I say try things and then see how it feels. You don't have to do all of this at once, but just try to incorporate, change what you're doing. If you're having trouble sleeping, if you have anxiety, try a couple. I'm giving you nuggets here. I've got some more to give to you, but I'm dropping little nuggets and little things that you can try on your own to see if it mattered. Did it make a difference? Did you sleep better? Did you feel less anxious? Did you wake up in the morning more refreshed? Journaling is a really good thing to do at night, so you're writing things down, not with your texting in your phone. You want to take a pen to paper and you want to write. You could write about the beautiful things that happen in your day. You could write about gratitude. I'm always big about writing in your gratitude journal. Be grateful for the things that happened that day. You could write about your manifesting your dreams and what you hope your future is going to be like. And you could write a fantasy story yourself about what you picture your dream and your future state to be like. It takes you out of where you are that might be causing you anxiety, and it puts your mind somewhere else that doesn't give you anxiety and gives you hope, and you're in a fantasy world, which helps you relax, right? So, aromatherapy, the essential oils, not only lavender, but there's bergamot and sandalwood have been shown to reduce stress and improve sleep. So those are nice essential oils. You can use them in a diffuser. You can apply them topically. Maybe you could find a candle with that scent. And I have a company that I absolutely adore. They're on my blog, Nancy Be Inspired. There's a link on the side called Capri Candles. They're my favorite candles in the world. Check them out and see if they have a scent that you like there. As I mentioned, the sleep hygiene, creating your bedtime routine that's conducive to your sleep. It's really crucial to set the stage, if you will, so that you can, start to relax. You want to reduce your screen time or turn off your devices. I know some people, they actually leave their devices on another floor. Like if you live or in another room, depending on where you live, but it's not in their bedroom. It's not even in their bedroom where they sleep. The device is not even there, so they can't grab it. So get yourself an old time, analog clock and plug that in so you have your time for your, if you get up to go to work or get up to go to the gym or whatever it is, clock, you have that. But your phone, you got to get up out of bed and you got to walk to it to get to it. So I don't know if that works for you. I think it's kind of a really good idea, actually. So, those are the things that I would say to just, and really you want your room to be dark and cool. We do sleep better in a cooler room. So, whether your room is cooler or if you have a partner that you sleep with and then, you're hot because they're in the bed next to you or, whatever, there could be a variety of reasons. You just want to get the temperature right for you. So whether that's your pajamas that you wear or you don't wear or the blanket that's on you, maybe you just have a sheet and not really a heavy blanket, just figure it out so that it's comfortable for you so that you get your good night's sleep. And that's not to say sleep separately. It's to say that your side of the bed is working for you. And even if that means if you have a queen bed and you have 2 twin sheets, that you're separating it out with what works for you and what works for your partner, because maybe that person's cold and you're hot or vice versa. You have what works for both of you to get a good night's rest, and not one of you is compromising your rest to, appease the other person. So just think about that and think about what options you have that will help you there. So, again, some actionable steps to transition to holistic practices. I want to give you a few because transitioning to holistic practices, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. There are some things that you can do that will really help you. And you want to really just start from where you are. You want to assess your current health routine. You want to take a look at where you rely on prescription drugs and think about which areas you would like to change. And if you want to change, speak to your practitioner about that. Ask, are these necessary? Is there any way I can reduce it? Is there a holistic practice that I could try to then, maybe shift away from reducing the prescription drugs, start incorporating the holistic, and then, wean yourself off the drugs if your healthcare provider, deems that appropriate for you and your situation. But it's something to think about, right? You want to start small and you want to incorporate one new holistic practice at a time, like I mentioned earlier, right? This could be as simple as starting your daily meditation practice, right? You're just going to start that meditation practice, whether it's just breathing, etc. We talked about that earlier. You just want to start small, and then you want to take notice of how that affected you. Did you notice a change? Keep doing it for a week, see if it mattered. If not, maybe increase the time. If you're not enjoying it, change what it is that you're doing so that you get into a rhythm of what's working with this small incremental change, right? And then you want to do your mindfulness practices, which is to dedicate just 10 minutes each day to mindfulness and deep breathing exercises. You could set your watch to that, your smartwatch if you have it. You could set your phone, to it every day at this time for 10 minutes. I am just going to sit. And I talked about this in other podcasts of mine where you just go and you sit quietly in a room and you either breathe or you listen to your breath or you listen to a meditation. But actually you make this a daily practice, like brushing your teeth. You make this a habit. And again, it just starts small, and then again, you could add herbal supplements if you're not already taking any herbal supplements, and you can take herbal supplements. Try adding herbal teas. There's green tea, there's chamomile teas, there's all different kinds of teas. Green tea does have, some kind of, I would not recommend drinking that at night before you go to bed because it does have, I think it can, spike your energy level a tad. So I would drink that maybe earlier in the day. But at night, the chamomile teas, or go in the tea aisle. There's so many teas out there, and see what's nice. They have evening teas. There's all different kinds of teas. Try it and see how you feel. Even just lemon and water, sometimes hot lemon and water. If you have fresh mint, that you grow, an herb, put that in there and see how it tastes, see how it feels, and notice, right? And again, you want to start again small with physical activity. If you're not active, begin with a simple exercise practice, a daily walk, a beginner yoga session, just something that you're starting that moves your body. I talk about this all the time, that moving your body is like eating, breathing, and sleeping. It is essential. So figure out what it is that you like to do and start to incorporate that into your life if you're not already doing it. And if you are doing it and you still are having trouble sleeping, try to maybe increase it. I say, and if you're able to do this, I do believe that you should get your heart rate up enough where you are sweating, because then you are exerting your body, you're releasing the toxins in your body, and then that really does help you. I believe for me, it did help me sleep better. I felt very rested when I really worked out hard. So try that, and see how that makes you feel. Again, your dietary changes, you want to gradually incorporate foods that support well-being, leafy greens, nuts, seeds. You want to incorporate that. Fresh foods, organic foods. I always talk about foods that can rot. That's what you want to eat. Not so many processed foods, although they are part of life. You just want to have the 80-20 balance there. So think about what you're eating, and that it supports your gut health. Gut health is really important, and you can take products for that. I am an Arbonne consultant, and I believe in their products wholeheartedly. They are clean and they are fantastic, and they have green synergy, which is a drink that I absolutely love taking, which has a citrus taste. So it's greens with a citrus taste, and you just mix it with water. It mixes really well, and it's delicious. And you could find that on my blog post. You could find, Arbonne, out there, Nancy DeLeonardi Arbonne page, and you'll see it if you look up the greens. And you also, maybe you want to seek professional guidance, right? You want to consider maybe consulting with a holistic health practitioner who maybe can help tailor an approach to suit your specific needs. So say you try these things on your own and you feel like, I don't see a difference. I don't know what's working. I just want, maybe you feel better if a holistic practitioner guides you. Find them, because as I started this podcast off, when I was going through a process that I went to the doctors, I knew that something was changing in my body. The labs were not showing that. She told me that she had sick people to take care of and she was done with me. It crushed me, really, because I thought, wow, you really are not hearing me as a patient coming to you. She thought I was being vain, honestly. She thought I was like, you just want to be a skinny little, something-year-old woman. And I'm like, no, that's not it at all. I don't feel well. I don't feel well with what's going on here. So anyway, I searched and searched and searched, and I went through probably, maybe 4 or 5 different doctor's offices who really were just writing me off, wanted to give me prescriptions. And then I found a holistic health practitioner, and that practitioner actually changed my life. He was a compounding pharmacist, and he really talked to me. He heard me. I did not sound crazy to him. He was like, I hear this all the time. And he really gave me a cocktail, if you will, of herbal supplements, what to eat, that really changed my life. And it got me back on course. And, I had a lot of stress going on at the time. And, it really helped me get balance. And he was not the medical doctor that you would think, oh, I'm going to go to a medical doctor, or for females, a GYN or whatever, they're going to understand. They're another female and they're going to understand. It was a male, compounding pharmacist who actually heard me, because he said, medications out there are, one pill for millions of people. And he goes, but everybody's body is different. And that one pill and that dose for that individual might not work for every single person. That's why you have to compound drugs to make it the special cocktail for your body. And, he had a lot of information that I learned from him. And to this day, I thank him for the guidance that he gave to me. And that's why I'm sharing with you that had I listened to the doctors that I was going to, I could have been on drugs to this day and never really had the problem with a thyroid. I never had a thyroid problem, but I could have been taking medication for years. So, just keep searching, because I felt like, I will tell you this, I felt like this is me coming to you. I am the patient and I am paying you. My health insurance that I pay for, I am hiring you, my doctor. I decide whether I continue to come back to you or not. I'm in control, not you. And that doctor who closed the door on me, she's the one who taught me that I had the power, not her. I had the power. I had the power to find the doctor who was going to hear me and treat me and understand me. They didn't have the power. She did not have the power to write me off, because she grossly misdiagnosed me. And that was, a huge lesson. Like I said, everything in life is a lesson, and you really have to pay attention to those lessons. So again, you're the one with the authority. You're the one that you can either, if you resonate with them and what they're saying to you makes sense to you, you really have to use your common sense, and you really have to really analyze what they're telling you and how that relates to how you're feeling, and whether you're willing to try to do what they tell you to do. My answer all the time is I'm not gonna have a surgery. Like, I had injured my knee. I had injured my knee in Zumba step class, and I went to I'm going to derail here for a second, but I went to an orthopedic surgeon, and because I needed to figure out what I did to my knee, because I actually had to be carried out of the gym because I had really jacked it up. And I went, and he did his x-rays, and I got an MRI, and I went back, and I was on crutches, and he was like, well, I think you have a torn meniscus, but I don't know. I have to go in there and do an orthoscopic surgery to just see what's actually going on. And I said, no, I'm not interested in being a guinea pig and you exploring my knee. What are my options? Can I go to physical therapy? And he said, if you want. So I took control and I said, okay, I'm going to go to physical therapy and I'm going to see if that helps me. And that helped me. It cured me for a very, very long time. I never had trouble with that knee again. So that's my point. It's like they give you information, but you ultimately have the final decision. So again, you can seek professional help, and just because you sought out one physician doesn't mean you're stuck with that physician. You can keep looking around, ask people, ask for recommendations. I highly recommend going to a compounding pharmacist and asking them, because they are the holistic, doctors out there. And when you think about medication back in the day, before a big pharma, okay, I want to say this, and please hear me when I say this, before big pharma took over the world, basically, and wanted everybody to get on some kind of medication, pharmacists used to make your prescription per order. If you think about the old prescription icon, if you will, the one that's known with prescriptions was the little metal and the pedestal and the mortar. Like it's a little cup with a little mortar where they used to mash up the ingredients. They used to mash it all up and then put it in the little pills for you, and then you would take that pill. It's same with the Chinese medicine and the Ayurvedic medicines. They're little herbs that they put together, and together they worked. So big pharma came in and said, no, we're going to take over this industry. It's big money here, and this is what we're going to do. It's one size fits all, and that's how we're going to treat humanity. So humanity, fast forward today in 2024, millions of people are on the same dose of medication most of the time. So is that really, think about that common sense wise. Does that really make sense to you that this whatever milligram of medication for you, that another person is taking that same milligram of medication for what's ailing them? And say you can't sleep, and both of you are taking this, millions of you are taking this medication, and the millions of you are having the same results, and you're going to be on it for how long? And is it really curing you, or is it numbing you? Is it temporary, or is it permanent? Is it to get you through to the other side to get better, or is it to keep you addicted for the rest of your life? These are the questions you need to ask yourself before you say, okay, I'll take that prescription. Okay, I'll do that. Really think about what you're doing here, and is it really necessary? Ask the doctor, what are my options? Do I have any other options? What can I try before I do this? Because a lot of times physicians too, they're on the clock. You go in their office, they are on the clock with you. They have 15 minutes to see you, and you boom, in and out. Don't ask them too many questions. But the ironic part of that is they could be an hour and a half late while you're sitting in that room waiting for them. But as soon as they open that door, the clock is on for them. And again, you have to turn the tables and say, look, dude, I pay for you. I pay your salary, and I have been sitting here waiting for you for an hour and a half, and I'm going to ask you my 50 questions, and you're going to hear me out and answer them because I am paying you. You are not paying me. You have the medical degree, but I'm paying your salary right now. I'm in control, and you're going to hear me out, dude. And that's how you have to go into a doctor's office. We are taught to go into the doctor's office at their mercy, and they are the gods of us, and they are going to tell us what to do. They are the authority, and we have no control. You have to listen to your gut, and you have to hear what they're telling you, and if that resonates with you, or do you think, you know what, because a lot of times they're just guessing. Unless there's something really wrong with you, you broke your arm and they have to put your arm in a cast to mend it. That is a factual thing. You can't heal it on your own. You know, you need the brace for your arm to heal correctly, is what I'm going to say, right? Okay, you have to do that. You need a surgery. You've got to go to the surgeon. They've got to fix whatever it is. But do you really need the surgery? Get another opinion. Get a third opinion. Put the time in to do your homework before you commit to that first person who says, this is it. Because doctors today, you're in and out. You are just another number. Back in the day, okay, I'm old enough to know when a doctor used to come to our house with his little Dr. Black bag and treat us in our home. He came in, he took your temperature, he treated you when you were sick, he came to your home, he knew you, he knew your family, he knew everything about you, he cared about you, he cared about your well-being, and he was there to make sure you were okay. Today, it is like a factory, and you really have to really use your common sense and think about what they're telling you, what makes sense to you, get another opinion, and then proceed with the best health care for yourself. You know, doctors are out there. They're meant to be out there. I am not bashing doctors at all. We need them in the society. We need them in the world. But some of them are controlled by the bigger pharmaceuticals, the bigger corporations. They're pushing out agendas, and you can find the right doctor for yourself who sees you for who you are, who hears what you're saying, and truly is dedicated. They took the oath to help you, and they will genuinely help you. There are other doctors that they're not there to help you. They're there for statistics, they're there to push an agenda, and they're there to collect a paycheck. And that is the reality. Whether you want to hear it or not, that is the reality. So, you know, I'm just going to wrap this up by saying that, you know, we've explored the benefits of holistic approach to health and well-being. And, you know, just always remember that the power to improve your mind, body, and soul lies solely within you. So you want to start small, you want to be consistent, and you want to believe in the process. You have the power in your mind to do whatever you need to do. And you really need to hone in on that power, hone in on your thoughts, hone in on your well-being. You can heal your body. You can use holistic methods to heal your body. And don't jump to drugs, and prescription drugs for things like trying to sleep and anxiety. You know, I would say those mostly, you know, and like I said, I'm not a medical doctor, so please don't take this as medical advice, but I'm just saying those types of stresses in life could be caused by other things that are causing the anxiety, and the anxiety is causing you not to sleep. But maybe try these practices that I talked about today and see if that helps alleviate any of that for you. And if it does ever so slightly, then you know that maybe this will work for you, right? So I'm going to just give you some homework, which is, 6 steps, right? Number 1, you want to start your daily mindfulness practice by setting aside 10 minutes every day for a meditation or deep breathing exercises, okay? Number 2, you want to explore herbal remedies, like try to drink chamomile tea before bed, using lavender essential oils, taking a salt bath at night. These are the things that you want to start incorporating in your bedtime ritual to help you relax. Number 3, you want to incorporate some sort of physical activity in your life by, if you're not already doing it, you want to start with a short walk, maybe yoga, or any form of gentle exercise to reduce anxiety and improve sleep. If you are already exercising, you might just want to take it up a little bit more if you physically can. If you can get to the point where you're in cardio and you can sweat for 20 minutes, or get into a pool. I recently started swimming and swim a few laps in a pool. That will help you too. Swimming, actually, I'm just going to pause here for a second. Swimming, the exertion of swimming will most definitely help you sleep. If you can swim in a pool a couple laps, it is really wonderful for your body. It is a full body workout, and I really strongly believe that that will definitely help you fall asleep at night. It's an aid, and I say try it if you have not. And number 4, you want to improve your sleep hygiene. So you want to establish a bedtime routine. You want to reduce any screen time on a device before you go to bed, whether that's your TV, your iPad, a movie, texting, whatever. You want to reduce that. And you want to really create an environment of sleep that really is relaxing and restful for you. So hone that in, in your environment, okay? And then number 5, you want to evaluate your diet, and you want to look at foods that you want to eat that promote your mental well-being. As I talked about earlier, the leafy greens, nuts, seeds, anything that you can digest easily, colorful foods of the color of the rainbow. Those are the things that you want to eat, foods that can rot. I say that. But those type of foods, offer a variety of vitamins that your body, and nutrients and antioxidants that your body needs. Pomegranates are really good. Tomatoes this time of year in the summer. Organic, if you can go to a farmer's market and get fresh produce other than your grocery store. In your grocery store, I will say buy local. Whatever you buy local first, because it's the least traveled, and it actually helps with allergies. So anything that's grown locally is grown in the dirt and the soil in your area, in the world, your region, and then you build up immunities and allergens to that. So I recommend that for you. And then number 6 would be, should you choose to seek holistic guidance, you want to consider consulting a holistic health practitioner to tailor and approach, a program or a routine that suits your personal needs. So those are the tips that I have for you. Play this on rewind if you want to hear them again, and, listen to the other podcasts that I have out there that will help you. I have a whole blog with all kinds of inspirational tips that help you detox from technology and all of that. So be sure to check that out on nancybeinspired.com. And then I have a YouTube channel where I have little quick exercise tips that you can do. So quick stretching, quick mobility. They're like little snippets. They're short, so they're like a minute. But, if you find a wall, you can have a seat. So, check that out too. Again, as I started this podcast, I put everything out there for you to have free that will help you with all of the components that I've talked about in this podcast, but everything that will help you live your best life as it relates to mind, body, and soul, right? And nutrition too. There's some recipes out there as well. So I hope that this podcast, helps you create a compelling and, informative, holistic path for your well-being as it relates to anxiety and sleeping better, and, please share it if it helped you. Please comment below if it helped you. And, let's share the news with other people so that we can help, people together. And thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for my next podcast, and let this inspire you today.